is a household name when it comes to real estate and renos. Everyone, please welcome the one and only Scott McGillivray. Now, it's not your first time around a kitchen. You've built a number of kitchens, am I right?
I built a kitchen or two.
Yeah, just in your time.
I love kitchens,
yes, they're such a heart of the home, right?
They are the heart of the home.
Yeah.
You know, that you get a good return on investment if you do a good job putting one together in a property. Yeah, and there's just so many options.
I love that.
And you've done a great job with your kitchen here, Mary.
So
Hasn't she done a great job?
Feels really good. I joke that this kitchen is about the size of my first apartment, so it's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, nice work.
Thank you so much. Well, Scott, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
Now, today you wanted to talk a little bit about home buying, right?
Yeah. I think that there's just a lot of confusion out there right now. People are like, what's happening in the market? People are having real struggles.
Yeah.
So I'm always, trying to find the silver lining. What are the solutions? What are the opportunities that exist?
Yeah.
I'm always optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's always something to do in real estate.
Yeah,
no
you're a
matter
glass
what.
half full type of guy.
I'm like the glass is overflowing.
Okay, nice.
Guy.
I like that. I like that. All right, now whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're just getting back into the market, you've got a couple do's and don'ts that you can use to be successful.
Yeah, and I think now is a time where it's more important than ever to follow a process, whether you're buying a home, selling your home, or getting into real estate investing as an opportunity.
Totally. So let's start with your do's.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to say, first off, and I fully agree with this, do work with a professional.
Absolutely. Yes, please. Yes, please. I think that there's a challenge right now for people trying to figure out, who do I work with? Do I work with the person who has 1 million followers on TikTok because they also happen to be a real estate agent? Or so you really have to be careful, and you have to be able to figure out who is a true professional.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough that I've worked with hundreds, maybe almost thousands of real estate professionals across the country.
Yeah.
So I always try to share that with folks. I'm like, here's the people I'm working with in Calgary. Here's the people I'm working with in Vancouver, Toronto, Halifax. So I do often refer trusted folks.
Yeah.
But you also want what I call qualified individuals to work with. So if you want to get into real estate investing and your neighbor Bob is like, don't do it, it's a terrible idea. Ask Bob, how many successful investments has he been through, right? So really make sure your real estate agent is active in their market. Use somebody local who understands the rules and regulations, especially when it comes to short-term rental rules and regulations and development. So always work with a professional.
Yeah, I love that.
That's my first tip.
That's a very, honestly, key tip.
Key tip.
Now, next you want to talk a little bit about considering other ways to invest.
Yeah, I think you have to be creative in this market, right? So a lot of people talk about how it's the hardest time ever to be a first-time home buyer. And the reality is, when I bought my first home, it was the hardest time ever to be a first-time home buyer. And if you ask your parents, it was the hardest time ever. It's always the hardest time to be a first-time home buyer. So you have to use all the tools that are at your disposal. So right now, there are programs for first-time home buyers, but there's also creative ways that you can be a first-time home buyer. You can do a joint venture agreement, right? I think the future of real estate ownership will be co-ownership.
Okay.
And I'm not making this up. The Golden Girls made this up, right?
Who doesn't want that life, honestly?
They figured it out. They seem to work out pretty good. They're like, let's just all own this place together.
B. Arthur would be an amazing roommate.
We need to do a reboot of that, right? So, but it's this idea that people are pooling their down payments and their qualifications for financing. And before I give the advice of saying just go out and do a joint venture, it's exciting to get into a joint venture agreement, but you also have to prepare of how you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
So before you do buy, prepare with the right documentation, speak to a lawyer, and figure out what everybody's exit strategy is as well.
Smart.
So that it doesn't become a point of contention.
No, you
later.
go in with your eyes open.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Now, you also want us to take advantage of that first-time home buyer's situation.
Here's the silver lining. It's not the hardest time ever to be a first-time home buyer. That was probably a few years ago. So we have to recognize that there's a big shift going on right now in the real estate market. And the struggle is real because you have folks who are, they don't have the equity that they assumed they might have right now, or their mortgages are coming up for renewal. You have people who speculated in the real estate market, like the condos. Look at condos. Condos are more affordable than they've been in a long time. It's a buyer's market. So if you don't have to sell a property, like a first-time home buyer, to get into the market, there's actually an opportunity here for you to penetrate this, the real estate space, and maybe get below asking. And consider the fact that we are heading into a lower interest rate, climate, which is good, right? You date the rate, you marry the price. So you marry the price while it's low, and think about the fact that interest rates will probably be going down another 100 basis points in the next several months. So affordability will be coming back. But by the time affordability does come back, the prices go up again,
100%.
right? So it's a good time to be vigilant. It's a good time to start looking at what your options are. And for first-time home buyers, yes, there are a lot of incentives. Being able, the first-time home buyer's tax credit, using your own RSPs, those are always sort of available. But the government regulations do change, so stay tuned. We'll see what happens with an election coming up. They're always like trying to throw things at home ownership and home buyers to make people happy and excited. But I think that right now, while there is, like Warren Buffett says, right? When others are fearful, you should be greedy. And when others are greedy, you should be fearful. Like people are a little bit nervous and fearful, so it's a good time to get out there and start to explore what's available in this market.
I love that. And I love that you're glass overflowing.
Glass overflowing.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Now, real quick, I want to chat about the new season of Renovation Resort. Tell me a little bit about it. I'm so excited about it.
So glass overflowing, but glass also half empty. There's goods and bads to working on these shows. It's really exciting to see so many motivated folks who want to be part of a renovation challenge competition show. So we're filming season 2 of Renovation Resort. We've got folks from all over North America competing. What's great about that is you see Canadians and Americans, you see the different flair that everyone has and the different influences, right? So we're tearing stuff down, we're building stuff up. So that's all exciting. I mean, there is a downside as well. I do have to spend a lot of time with Brian Baumler. I know, it's tragedy.
You guys have a great time.
We're frenemies.
Frenemies, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Scott. I'm so thrilled for you. Cannot wait to tune in. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.